Welcome to the Hustlewing podcast. Today we are joined by Yannis, who is the CEO of Hotels by Day. Hi there, Yannis. How are you doing?
Hello, Hafiwi. How you doing?
I am doing well. Thank you for joining us. Before we get into the conversation, could you maybe tell us more about Hotels by Day?
With pleasure. So, Hotels by Day is an app that allows customers to have daytime experiences at hotels, meaning hourly stays or a few hours during the day in which you can book a hotel room, a pool pass, a pool chair, a cabana, a co-working space, a meeting room, a parking space, a gym pass. So it's basically monetizing all of the hotel assets, but not for the night, for the day. Another way to see us would be like an Expedia for daytime services at hotels.
Hmm, that's interesting actually, because I think for the most part, when we think about hotels and traveling, it's usually overnight, and not during the day. So I suppose it's quite an interesting way to sort of curate experiences. I'm
Correct.
interested in the sort of the ultimate goal and vision for hotels by day.
Sure. The ultimate goal is that we are pretty much in every country that is of demand. So every continent essentially, and we're getting there. And we so essentially the ultimate goal would go to go wide and deep. So wide as in every country in the world, that would be an objective, and deep as in servicing all types of amenities: spa, hotel passes, gym passes, hotel pool passes, cabanas, and rooms during a few hours. So going through the whole hotel stack of services. So that would be the depth of the services and the width of the services to go worldwide.
I'm interested in then finding out how the success looks like and the traction. I mean, of course, as I mentioned earlier on, the most I suppose general idea of going to a hotel is, as I said, spending the night over and traveling. But this is a bit different. So in terms of the traction, how does that look like?
So it's a new category,
Yeah.
which for entrepreneurs out there, it's pretty much the worst place to be in. It's something that did not exist before, that randomly there was demand out there, but it was random. It was not a category. It was not covered by any legacy company. And so being an entrepreneur in this field means that not only are you um, innovating as every entrepreneur should, but you actually are creating a whole new category of demand. So there was a big lack of transparency in the demand itself. Besides the fact that I personally, as an ex-travel agent, I had customers that were flying overnight, landed very early in the morning, wanted a place to rest, shower, change, sleep, nap, work in privacy, meet in privacy for a few hours. And I just couldn't get that. They had to wait until 3 p.m. to check in because the overnight at the hotel means that you must check in no sooner than 3 p.m. You must leave the next day no later than 11 a.m. But with us, we're creating packages of time bands and services, as I mentioned before, not just the rooms, but also the pool pass, the gym pass, the parking pass, the sauna, the spa, and all that stuff. So we're creating all those possibility of flexibility at the hotel that did not exist before. So to answer your question, we are creating a whole new segment, and it is just this year, after almost 9 years of launching Hotels by Day, 8 years and change. Just this year, it's been covered by analysts, and it's covered at the estimated demand for services of day use services, daytime services, is at $6.2 billion by 2026, so in 2 years. And we are covering a good portion of that at Hotels by Day.
Yeah, I love the fact that as you were talking, I was just thinking now that almost everyone that I've heard talk about travel, the inconvenience of waiting for check-in time is a consistent sort of running thread when you're talking about traveling and booking hotels. It's quite interesting that not only are you providing an experience and a service, but also sort of speaking to a need that no one realized that it needed a solution up until now, that sort of speaking to the fact that actually it does. So I'm quite what's the word? I'm quite
Intrigued?
fascinated, yeah, and intrigued, yes, by just that. I mean, I think as you were talking, I was just like, oh my goodness, yes, that is quite an issue for most people who travel a lot. Is that check-in time has always been an issue and continues to be an issue. To have a service that speaks directly to that issue, as it were, kind of makes traveling a little bit more, seamless and a little bit less admin heavy. Now, obviously, when you're creating such a unique product, of course, I can't imagine the different challenges that you sort of go through as an entrepreneur and as a business. What kind of unique challenges? I mean, maybe now that you guys are tackling at the moment, or even maybe projects that you guys have, where some of our networks here at Hustlewing could sort of maybe plug in with their skills and sort of meet those kind of challenges.
Oh, that's very kind of you to ask. Before we talk about the challenges, I would just like to add that essentially our solution is transforming hospitality in the sense
Mm,
that we're making hospitality more dynamic and more in tune to today's society. Where in today's society, because of airfare, flying at all around the clock, right, at whatever time around the clock, because we're more dynamic than ever in a modern society, we need different time bands out there. We need to be able to check in, check out, stay for a few minutes, hours, or a few hours, or half a day during the day, right? So it's very important that we have that flexibility. That hospitality, unfortunately, is not catered very well to this modern society because it's still very rigid to that previous 3 p.m. check-in, 11 a.m. check-out, as mentioned before. So tongue in cheek, would like to say that hospitality is becoming inhospitable to today's society, and we are providing this solution. Whereas
indeed.
people have this place that they need to put their luggage in, they need to rest, they need to, pre-check-in, post-check-out, whatever it is, we are providing the service. So I just wanted to give that full envelope of description of what we do at this point. Now, in terms of how the community could help us out, uh, pick a topic, pick a thing in which we need help. There's tremendous amount of growth to be had, and with that comes tremendous amount of help that is needed. But one of the things I think that is giving me the most, that I'm thinking the most of these days is how do we turn our app and our website into something that is cool to so the UI UX, essentially, just to answer your question in very few words, the UI UX is something that I look forward to having some help. um, you know the special design of some buttons, the special icons, the emoji, where to place them, where to make our app a little bit more modern. As you can see from my gray hair, I'm not the most you know updated person when it comes to the use of technology and the use of modern I wouldn't say modern society, but modern use of technology, all the social media apps and all that stuff. I'm slightly behind that trend, and so I know there's new ways of communicating, there's new vocabulary out there, and I want our website, I want our app to mimic that modern style and that modern vibe and the modern age. So, and look, I mean, it sounds like I'm dating myself, but it's going really, really fast these days, and it's going faster than ever before. And I feel like we're kind of a step behind right now. I'd love the community to come in and give us a sense of where the communication of the most modern communication styles are, and the look and feel of it. So that's my concern today.
Yeah, I hear you. And I mean, to me, that's that pretty much, I mean, when you talk about the interface, of course, you're bringing in the UIX and I mean, the communication that would be content writers, marketing around there. But also, I think to what you mentioned, I mean, quite a lot of young people, because most of the sort of the references that I'm making just around traveling, it's mostly young people. And so I think you are onto something there just in terms of even appealing to that market, because mostly when you look at the different work that young people are doing now, I mean, the emergence of influencers, for instance, they're always traveling. I mean, again, the issue there is around, I get to the hotel and I have to sit at at the lobby for long hours waiting to check in. I don't have a place to charge my laptop. I want to take content, but my devices are not charged. So definitely having, bringing in people in marketing and content creators and UX designers who can sort of speak that language and appeal to that market. I think, yeah, that would definitely be another way of bridging that market gap. Yanis, this is quite a unique and interesting and fascinating space that you're playing in. When you sort of looking at the future, what would you say the future holds for hotels by day?
Well, it holds pretty much what the vision is, which is to become the ultimate app of daytime services and of optimization of daytime real estate. So in that sense, we're a marketplace, so we need to cater to two customer base. So for the asset holder, as in a hotel or residence, or we want to become this app in which they can monetize and optimize their real estate, right? For all sorts of services, the rooms, the pools, the gyms, the spas, the this, the that, the meeting rooms, the co-working spaces. So we want to be this app in which you can book all those services anywhere, at any time, day or night, for shorter times than the package out nightly services that currently the Expedias of this world are providing. And for the customer, we want to be this, well, as I mentioned before, the ultimate app in which they have those daytime experiences that they can book, right? Whereas before, you just didn't have that variance or that variability, or pardon me, all that flexibility, rather. That would be a better word. So this is what we are aiming to become, the ultimate app of daytime services.
Nice. Before I let you go, folks that are interested in learning more about hotels by day, and maybe also the folks that might be wanting to reach out about some of the opportunities that you mentioned, how do they get a hold of hotels by day online?
Instagram, all sorts of social media. So Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Pinterest, and also contact us on our website, on our app. You can download the app as well. So there's 100 ways to get to Rome, and we're a company with a 24/7 customer service. You can reach us anytime. My name is Yannis, so just ask to speak to me, and I'll be able to, and happily will be glad to answer any questions that the community may have.
Thank you so much, Hannes, for your time. Quite an interesting and fascinating conversation.
Thank you, Afiwi. It was great to be invited to the show. So thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.